Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be doing a book review and I'm going to be talking about a book titled I'm Travelling Alone by Samuel Bjork. I think I'm saying that wrong, I'm probably saying it wrong. I'm horrible with all of his names, so I'm really sorry, but it's right down here. And yeah, I have to say this is one of the best kind of crime thrillers I've read in a very long time, which is saying something because that's kind of my genre. I love reading crime books and thrillers, and yeah, so that's kind of my thing. That's what I mainly read. And I normally read books, you know, like by Karen Slaughter, Mo Hayder, Jeffrey Deaver, those kind of detective novels, which are kind of in a series. And this is a new one that I've never read before. I've never read anything written by this author before, and I'm definitely interested to read more. So I don't think this is the first book in this kind of detective series, because the main character, Maya, beginning of this book you kind of get hints about what happened in the case before this book, and it's something that she's very much haunted by, and it's referenced throughout this book what happened to her and the situation, and it's kind of influencing some of her decisions made in this book. I don't think you don't have to read the first book in the series to understand this one by any means, because obviously I didn't, and I still thoroughly enjoyed this one. I feel like the character development in this book is quite good, although obviously if there are other books in this series then that's going to be ongoing, and obviously there will be, in the first book, there'll be more of that. And yeah, so you have this this woman, this detective, and her and her partner, they work in this very special kind of crime unit. It's very kind of underground, it's just them, and they kind of do what they want. But in the beginning of this book it's broken up, this no longer exists, this crime unit. However, something truly horrifying happens. Obviously there's a new serial killer on the loose, and they have to, her partner, Munch, kind of has to bring all these people back together, including some new faces, and recreate this unit to try and stop the killer before the time runs out. Now, for such a large book, it is fairly fast paced. There are some things that kind of let this book down a little bit, one of them being the main character, Maya. I do like her. She's a likeable character, but she's a little bit mopey at times, and towards the middle and end of the book that kind of gets a little bit repetitive and a little bit annoying. You kind of just want to say to her, oh, you know, kind of snap out of it and get on with the case. You know, you've got things to be doing. And yeah, it's not so annoying that it kind of ruined the story. Overall, yeah, the character's quite likeable, very relatable. What I liked about this is, although Maya was the main character of this book and is kind of following her struggle throughout this case, you do get perspectives of a lot of other people within this book and within this case, what's happening. For example, you get a new guy who's working within this police department. You get to see how he kind of gets folded into everything and how he kind of progresses within this unit. At one point you also get kind of a news team, a news crew. They kind of get involved in this case a little bit, and you kind of hear their side of things and how they're going to cope with things. You hear from, you know, the families. There'll be the beginning of a chapter, and it'll be the beginning of one of the families that something horrible is going to happen to, and you kind of get to see a little bit about their lives. So it's very involved with the characters in that way, and I really enjoyed that. The killer in this book is quite complex. It's very interesting. There's lots of different people you kind of suspect in this book, as they're trying to piece things together. A few times you kind of think like, oh, come on guys, like I could have figured that out faster than you in the book. But then the book kind of takes this other interesting turn, and you figure out, you know, this isn't really what you expected. So yeah, it is very interesting, and it does keep you hooked, which is great for, you know, a book of this size. It is quite a story. The ending is great. It wraps up quite nicely. It kind of keeps it going right till the very end. which I like. And yeah, it's just a very creepy story. I don't want to say too much about the crimes because I don't really want to give too much away. It does involve children. So if you're the kind of person where you don't like reading books where children are involved in crimes, then this might not be the book for you. I mean, it's not too graphic, it's not too horrific. I have read books that are much, much worse. But there might be something to consider when looking into this book, that yes, it does involve children. Actually, one of the perspectives of this book is from a child, not really involved in the case, but well, he is, but it's kind of like a side thing. But he's like quite a lovely, sweet boy, and that's actually quite a nice perspective to read from. But yeah, just as a kind of pre-warning, it does involve children, and so if that upsets you, then maybe give this a pass. But like I said, it's not too graphic, it's not too horrific. You're mainly following the story of the detectives. Like you don't really hear too much from the killer's side, mainly because you don't know who the killer is, and they're kind of keeping you from that in this book, which I like, because you know, sometimes when you read crime novels and crime books, you'll have the detectives part and then you'll have the killer's half, where you kind of read from both ways. But when I feel like it's too much of that, you do guess who the killer is in the end. Whereas this one, I think they keep it hidden quite well, and it is a very good story with lots of twists and turns. So yeah, it's a very up and down book. Obviously it's not uplifting because it's a crime novel, and not a lot of crime novels are. But it's very well done, and if you're into crime thrillers, then I would say definitely give this a go. Like I said, I'm definitely going to try and read more by this author, because I haven't before, although the name does look very familiar. So I must have seen this person's books before, but maybe not picked them up, or maybe I have, I don't really know. But yeah, definitely worth a go if you're into crime thrillers. It was a very good read, quite pleasantly surprised by this one. So that's pretty much all I have to say. If you've read this book and have different or similar opinions to me, then please leave them down below. Also, if you have any questions, then just write them down below and I'll happily answer them. And as always, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye guys!